Welcome to 97.7 FM, the city. Welcome to another great show of Nature's Remedies with Dr. B.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We have a great show today. The topic of today is diets and the physiology of digestion.
Yes.
What does that entail, Doc?
That is important because we have to learn. There is many diets, and then we need to know which ones are the best. And we need to know a little bit the physiology, how works your body. We have to understand a little bit the anatomy and physiology. So if you know how the health rules and how your body works, and if you comply with, you can be healthy. So that's why it's important to know those rules, health rules, and the 8 natural remedies, and which ones are still the best diet, because there is many diets. Like, for example, people is going crazy now on intermediate fasts,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a problem with an intermediate fast. People, while they are fasting, they're not drinking water, and they getting constipated, and many people is going to surgery to remove the appendicitis because they're getting clogged up. So increases the surgery. And then the gastroenterologists will say, well, it's been a problem. People is going fasting, intermediate fast, but they're not drinking water. So the fasting is okay, but the problem is that they're not taking any liquids during the while they are fasting. Fast is still good, but doing the correct way.
I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of diets out there, the carnivore diet, and there's these trends and fads of just diets that we see coming up from time to
Yeah,
time.
that's why we're gonna start studying, because in the Bible there is all the diets too. The carnivore, when we start eating meat. So that's what we're gonna see a little bit today and learn a little bit about the physiology of our digestion. So this is very important to know, because if you don't know how the anatomy and how the body works, and you do against the body's not going to change for you. It's the same for everybody. Or you learn and start doing correct, or you're going to be sick. As simple as that.
That's right.
So that's what we're going to see today.
Excellent. Well, let's dive right in. Now,
Mhm.
what is the proper diet for mankind?
For mankind, can you press with more? So this the proper diet is God the original plan on the Bible. Behold, he say, I have given you every herb yielding seeds, and every tree in which is the fruits of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be as food. So Genesis 1:29.
At the very
So
beginning.
right at
Hmm.
the beginning, so God's did that diet for us. That was in Eden. So that's mean no death there if they were
Hmm.
eating that food,
Hmm.
and it was no sin either.
Hmm.
But this will promote life. And then here, upon leaving, then when they fell, they sinned. They need to get off from the Eden, and then God was allowed them to eat the herb of the field. So here they have to plow
They have to
the
plow the
land,
land. They have to.
and then was allowed to was add herb of the field. So that was the first diet.
Mhm.
And then now the second question that we're going to see, what was the original diet for our first parents? Next. And then you're going to see that there was grain, fruits, nuts, and vegetables to be prepared is in a simple, natural manner. So here, uh, this one is the next
Okay,
one.
go
Yeah,
back one slide, please.
yes. But you can leave there, or we can comment. And so the first diet from the Eden is go. It's okay. Leave
You can
there.
go forward.
Yes,
Mhm.
grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables to be prepared in a simple way, natural manner. So these they are outside already. So God wants them to prepare the vegetables, the fruits, the nuts, everything that they plant in a simple manner way. Like if you're going to serve a dish, two or three things only, not like when you go in buffet and you
Mhm.
put everything on your dish.
So they didn't have buffets in the Garden of Eden, right?
Yeah, it'll be a Babylon in your stomach, so it won't work. And then here, what was the benefits of the original diet? And then we saw that was to promote life. Death won't be like the Bible records the first one. Death was before Jesus came back to the earth. People, the first 2,000 years, people didn't die frequently. They used to live very long, 1,000 years. Well, the disease wasn't like it is today. But when Jesus came back, the disease was already rampant because
Mhm.
the lack of hygiene and some places the poverty. So that's why the people was usually the sickness was in the poor area, lack of hygiene and nutrition. So
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
the reason. And then the benefits of the original diet, like for example, Adam, the color of Adam means red. Like when you squeeze your finger like that,
Mhm.
you can see that it's red. But Adam was red from head to toe, so he was very healthy. Now you have to squeeze your finger to see your blood, but no, before you could see the blood under the skin. That's why his name is Red. And his vital force was 20 times than us, 20 times. And God said,
Wow.
if he wouldn't have given us 20 times more vital force, we'd be all gone now, all gone. And then intelligence, 20 more times. So now we are like nothing
Wow. Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to our ancestors. And then we used to be the size, our size was double today. Like if we have a 16 feet, it was 12, 15 feet.
Hmm.
Now we are, I am 5. So
Mhm.
we shrink. And then when Jesus come back in the clouds, we're going to see Adam get up, and us, we're going to have to look at Adam like this. And he's still symmetrical, perfect, and we don't. We're going to be restored on the same day, but we're going to see the difference,
Mhm.
what the sin did and our diet did, because we are what you eat. So they eat very healthy. We didn't. We're not doing.
Hmm.
So, and we used, and he used to be symmetrical, symmetrical, like both sides of the body be equal. Now we have one small eyes or
Mhm.
crooked and things like that.
Mhm.
We didn't have that before. And now this is goes in the fourth. That's another diet that the Bible mentioned. So we saw the original diet was fruits and things that inside the Eden. When
Mhm.
they get off, was herb was allowed. Now is another phase that the kind of the we are allowed to eat meat, but it was after the flood. So Ellen G. White say that in 1864 she make a note that was allowed to eat meat, the clean animals,
Mhm.
because on the was no food.
Mhm.
Like when the Noah arks stop at Monte Ararat, and then they have clean animals and dirty animals. The clean animals were 5 pairs for them to eat, and the unclean animals 2 pairs. So that means to clean the earth, like
Mhm.
they do the cleaning, but they're not supposed to eat those animals. Like a pork, we're not supposed to eat because it has offended, but it doesn't ruminate like a cow. So they are animals to clean. Like for example, pork has 20% of DNA human. They
Mm.
mutate the genetic. And another thing, the pork doesn't sweat. So that's why they roll when they have too many toxins. They roll on the mud
To
as
cool down.
to cool down, as to release that, because the mud takes away the toxins when they are too toxic, and they have a big fat. The fat holds all the
Yeah.
toxins. So that, and plus the parasites. So they are made to be clean. So that's why we cannot eat. Like for example, fish is a clean animal, a clean fish, but it needs to be with scales and fin.
Mhm.
So that's clean animals. That's like chicken we can eat, eggs we can eat. So, but unclean animals we cannot touch, like oysters, crab. Those
Mhm. All
things
those
we should
clams
not
and
be
all those
eating.
bottom.
We're gonna be sick
Mhm.
if you eat. You're gonna have parasites. This and you're gonna be prone. So here's God allowed us to eat after the floods, to eat meat only after the flood for two purposes. We used to live 1,000 years. When God allowed us to eat meat, decrease our age, so that they start dying at 600, as 600
And started
is down.
lowering
And
the life
now
expectancy.
God's did to 120 years old. But if you, many people, many of us don't make it now because we have a bad diet. But you're supposed to live to be 120, still walking and doing your things, not in bed, not cripple. No, if you obey and have a good diet, you can live to 120, will be able to walk and doing things for yourself. So this we saw, it's already three diets, and now the other one that we can see is wha- di- uh, what is Daniel diet?
Okay, the Daniel
That's
diet. Yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
yes.
I've heard
It's
about
still
that.
original diet,
Mm-hmm.
but remember that they being captive in Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
So the king asked him to eat the king's.
It was like a challenge, right? That ended up coming after that,
Yes,
right?
but God was with him. So when he requested the cook for him to allow him for 10 days to try out his way, God was with him and granted that request. And then what they saw, Daniel and his friends ate for 10 days vegetables and water to drink. And then what happened? Oh, after the 10 days passed, they presented them to the king to see, and the cook was afraid because if he didn't obey the king, he can cut off their heads. But then when they were presented to the king 10 days after, they were incredible healthy. And at the end of the 10 days, their future appeared better and fatter in fresh than the young men who ate the portion of the king's delicacy, like Daniel 1 12, 15. So that's mean they're looking healthier. And mine too, because they were eat cleaning and drinking water. They, however, they read, they retain. And so Daniel's cleanness of the mind and firmness of purpose, his strength and intellect, acquire knowledge, were due to a great degree of a plainness of his diet. So that means his clear mind and to retain, because they are studying, because the king instructed them to study and then question them, but they could retain all the information because they have a clean diet and probably slept early and do exercise like everybody did on that time in connection with so besides the plain diet, in connection with his life prayer, so he was in constant connection with God and his diet. So they were the most smart young men of that time and healthy compared to the other ones from the courts. And then we have another diet. It's called DNA
The
dietary.
DNA repair diet.
Yeah, that's it from now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's what I see. Years
30 years.
old
Mm-hmm.
after the lived 350 years
350.
and died 950. But then Shen, his son,
His son, 600.
600. You see how decreased?
Started decreasing.
And now we are 120. Now we are 60, 40s, and down. So it's going down more and more. So this diet now is more modern. It's from now. It's called DNA repair diet, but it's the same diet as original. Okay, because it's the structure of your DNA. Like, because right now our DNA is being mutated, but you can, the cells has something that can shift it back. It's just putting that diet, they can go back to the way it is. Doesn't matter how damaged they are, they can reset. And even if you are like, for example, my father had a kidney failure, and usually you have high blood pressure when you eat animal product. And my father used to eat animal products, so he had high blood pressure since he was 35. And then he, because eating too much meat, the red meat, he got gout, and by having gout, he auto medicate himself on the ibuprofen
Mm.
and lost his kidneys.
Oh no.
And he lasts about 8 to 10 years on dialysis, hemodialysis, because in Brazil they control a lot your diets, so they're very strict with their diet, so they last longer because they tell them don't eat this, don't eat that, and so they live longer there. But I have the same genes of him, but I'm not. I don't have high blood pressure, and I don't have kidney failure because I'm not eating the same food that he ate. But my genes is here, but I don't need to activate.
Mhm.
I don't need to go in the same path. So you can have a DNA defect or whatever, but if you live a good lifestyle different, you're not gonna have the same disease your parents have, like you can get away with. It's, and this DNA diet can repair any health problems that we have. It resets the DNA. 50% is phosphate, that is fruits, vegetables, and water. And then 30% is complete sugar, grains, and roots. And then 20% is nitrates, plant-based protein, nuts, and good fats. Now go down. We're gonna see the plant-based until you find a short vegan protein sources.
So that was the original diet you were talking about?
Yes,
Mhm.
and now keep going down. We're gonna see something about the protein base. More, you can go down. We talk
The
about
Daniel
Daniel.
diet. Hmm.
Yes. Now go down. We're gonna see that you don't need to, even though if vegetarian, you can still eat protein. Down. You can still eat protein, but plant based doesn't need to be animal product. Down.
We're talking about like almonds and walnuts and stuff
Yes.
like that. Okay.
Keep going. This is DNA, and the DNA plant follow this is the DNA structure. So that's why it repairs. Next, more. This is the DNA. You see that the DNA is next. Just click one more. This
There
is
it is.
that's what we
So
talk
the 50%
about.
phosphates, you said
Keep
30%
it going
complete
down.
sugars, and 20 treats.
Yes, I want to show that this protein doesn't need to be animal. Could be uh, now God wants us to go to the original diet because to be healthy by the end of the time. Next, I just want to show the charts of
Hmm.
the protein that you can keep clicking until you found the chart. The reason we're not supposed to eat animal products is because they are because what they do into those animals, they're being locked up
Mm.
and they eat. Like this cow is only 10 months old and
Hmm.
they already
They're
adult
fattening them up.
size.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's still a
Hormones.
baby,
And,
hormones. And so next, and look how they live. So they not a health. Look how they live. So here there's a lot of fumes going
mhm.
from the
Their
waste
excrement and
material.
everything.
Yes,
Yes.
excrements. So that's how is that we're not supposed to be eating those things. Next, you see, they eat day and night until days or 2 months they are ready to go. So they go under a lot of stress. They have a lot of cancer, a lot of tumors, a lot of things like that
Hmm.
because they don't walk, they don't do nothing. Next, this is the fish tanks. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
never would eat tilapia from those places. It needs to
Right.
be a wild catch.
I hear they drop a lot of antibiotics in there to prevent
And
them
this
from.
is the tanks, and so
Yeah.
that's why we're supposed to be away and go back to the original diet for those reasons.
Hmm.
What are you seeing here? Look, the fishes how they live. They
Yeah.
cannot swim. They and they pee. The waste material is
Hmm.
all there, so and it's not safe. So you never buy tilapia farm. It
Farm
needs to
tilapia.
be wild,
Hmm.
cold water and things like that. And the fish needs to have scales and fins. Next. And next, here's the original diet. Here God saying destroying because of lack of knowledge, because they reject the knowledge, I will also reject the deed. Thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgot my law. So that's mean God taught us, and it's the, we are rejecting the instruction, because the all these diets is in the Bible. The ones that I mentioned is all from the Bible, so it's all there. So if you want to be healthy, just read and start following. And next, that one. You see, like you can be a vegetarian if you have a vegan, well balanced diet. You don't need to eat animal products. You can even when you have a cancer that you can switch for ketogenic diets, could be plant based, but you have to have a well balanced diet. Like for example, beans, black beans, 15 grams, 1 cup of black beans has 15 grams of protein. Kidney beans, 1 cup has 13 grams of protein. So you need to know those things. Look, almonds has 1 ounce, 6 grams of protein. So the plant has proteins. So you don't need to be animal products to have your protein. You if you know this, like lentils, 1 cup, 18 grams of protein, and it's equal like 3 ounces of a beef. So, and the best gladiators that we have that you can watch the movie, The Game Change, they eat barley and beans. They're the best athletes on the earth. They are vegetarian. They perform better. So that's now go click for me until we get to another person that you see a king.
Eat breakfast like a king, right?
Lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. So that's mean you cannot eat your dinner late after 6, because then you're not going to be hungry to have to eat like a king. So not eating like a king at dinner. No, it's like a king in the morning. But for that, you need to eat a light dinner, 6 p.m. Because when you go to bed, your stomach needs to be empty. You cannot have food because you're not going to rest, because your brain is going to be working with your stomach. And plus, a lot of people doesn't follow that rule. I see many young women and men, 30, 35, 40, taking a lot of medicines for their stomach because they have GERDs, like a reflux.
Yeah,
but it's
acid
because
reflux and all that.
because they eat and go to bed. So if they don't stop that, they're going to have hernia hiatal, and then they're going to end up dying from varices esophagicus, because the top of the stomach is the heavy part. When they lie down, opens, whether you like or not, it's going to open, and then the acid is going to burning every single
Your
day.
esophagus, right?
Yes, and then makes varices. When it makes varices, they bust it, and then they end up dying, or from the stomach or from the thing. It's a simple thing. Just don't eat and don't go to bed. If you eat late, stay up a little bit to digestion. But the better is to eat 6 p.m., not after that, because this is the correct way to eat. Next.
Fantastic.
So the next one that I'm gonna talk about is a doctor. He was interesting. His name was Robert McPherson. This doctor, he used to live in he was England when England took over India. So they sent people, all the English people went to India. And over there, this place, Pakistan, were a valley, a beautiful valley, and were 3 races living on that valley. Way before they are from, they were there since Alexander the Great. Because Alexander the Great soldiers went there, they were already living there. Before they used to have darker skin because they are Hindus, Pakistani. And then when the Alexander the Great soldiers went there, they saw the valley was beautiful and the people were very friendly. But these people are friendly because they are healthy people eating well. So they are very knowledgeable. Was no illiterate people among them
Hmm.
because they diet. And then the soldiers got crazy about this place. They didn't go back. They stayed there. So that's why, and it's three races in that valley. There's the Muslim. They are Islamic because the culture that they mix with the Alexander the Great soldiers. So they are mixed, like they have olive skin or they have white, green eyes, blue eyes, most of them. But so this doctor Carrison, he was there in 1901 and he lived in North India, studied the Hansa people for 7 years. And then he was the revolutionary of nutrition over 100 years ago because he said these people here was living to 150 years old and the other two people, tribals that was living on the same valley, they were dying before 6, 7. So I
Mhm.
say, what's wrong with these people? Why so happy? Why they live longer? So then he studied these people for 7 years. So he opened in 1918 the first Indian National Institute of Nutrition because he studied. So he was research nutrition. Was the first time that they had the opportunity to study what they were eating, how they live, and these people here they didn't have no childhood disease, no sarampion, rubella, no
Hmm.
nothing, because to a virus you need to be exposed to a poison to have a virus. So they are clean diets and everything. So there is no infancy disease on these people,
Mhm.
and no illiterate. They
Wow.
all capable to learn.
Wow.
Everybody was literate, not illiterate. And so they in the and in like I say, they way before Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great lived in 336 BC to 323 BC. So these people were living on that valley way before. So this is when the Alexander the Great record about these people
Mhm.
because his soldiers went there. So Hansa people, they live on the Hansa Valley north of the Pakistan, and they well known because they live to 100 and 150 years old in Pakistan, while the others live to 6, 7 years of
Mhm.
life. And they did follow the 8 natural remedies. So nutrition, they are vegetarian, organic, they eat only 2 meals. They'll
Mhm.
get up, go to work in the fields, come back, have a meal, and then 4 o'clock they'll have another meal. Only 2 meals, 2 meals
Oh wow.
per day.
Mhm.
And then they exercise, they work in the fields and practice sports. And then water, the water is from glacial water, cold water. So it was full of minerals.
Hmm.
So they drink electrolytes every single day. And they be outdoors while the sun, like they sleep early, get up and stay in the sun, exposed to the sun all day working. So this is the 8 natural remedies and temperance. They have an optimal lifestyle education
Hmm.
because they took the time, like with temperance air, they breathe fresh air from the mountains every single day. And rest, they sleep early well. The sun went down, they went to sleep. And they trust in God because the culture was mixed with the Greeks. So it's called Hansakat. The Islam beliefs practice on a regular daily basis. So
Mhm.
they have Christian base too. They are different from the Muslim and the Hindus. So they are Christian. And now, what do we need to know to have a good digestion? So the first thing you have to know the. Do you know what temperature is your stomach?
No.
Is 100 Fahrenheit.
Oh wow. Okay.
What would happen if you drink a cold like 30 Fahrenheit, 30, like
Oh
cold freezing? What happened?
wow. You could shock your stomach. I mean, your stomach is gonna try to warm it up.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
when you do that, you waste what?
Energy, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's correct when you were in the hospital, they put the air conditioner very cold and they drink a cold water and give you a cold water for
Mm,
you to drink.
wow. I hadn't thought about that.
So
Yeah.
that's why you need to know what anatomy and physiology.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know when your body who works for you to do things correctly. So the first thing that you have to learn that inside your stomach it's pale pink
Mm-hmm.
and the temperature is 100 Fahrenheit. So that's mean when you eat the food it needs to be what? Room temperature or warm,
Okay.
not hot, not cold.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Because if you do too cold, you have to do what? Shock the stomach, you're gonna have to heat up. And if it's too hot, you
Have to
need to
cool it
cool off.
down.
So you wasting what? Energy.
Yeah. So our poor, body is trying to compensate all the time because we're constantly giving it either too hot or too cold.
Yes. And then the next thing that you need to know, we just saw the picture there. Eat breakfast like a king,
Mm-hmm.
lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. So that's mean you have to have your dinner 6 p.m. Okay, otherwise you're not going to be hungry for the next day to eat correctly. And then the liquids, when we
Mm-hmm.
should drink the liquids, what time?
Said either 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after.
Now 1 hour,
1 hour.
2 hours after.
Oh, 2 hours after. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. 30
Why?
minutes before, 2 hours after.
And why we should not drink liquids with our stomach? What would happen if you drink the liquid?
Because our stomach's going to be trying to digest. Well, one thing, we're washing away the natural fluids of our stomach that does the
Yes,
digestion part
that's
of it.
correct. You're gonna dilute the gastric juice, and it's not going to to do the digestion. It's going to delay. It's going to be there hours because it's too weak to digest. So that's why we're not supposed to drink. You can drink 1 or 2 glasses 30 minutes before. You're going to have a great digestion, but not with your food. And after you finish eat, it's good to walk. It's going to add. It's going to help you digestion better if you walk after you're eating light walking. And then the food should be warm, not hot,
Mhm.
because we already explained why. Because the temperature of stomach is 100 Fahrenheit. If it's too cold or too hot, the stomach needs to fix first before digestion. And you're wasting your vital force because
Mhm.
you're wasting energy. Okay, and food should never be eaten very hot or very cold. So that's we know why. And when you have anxiety or when you're angry, should you be eating? When you too excited, should you sit down and eat? No.
Wow.
Yeah. When you undo anxiety or angry or like very altered, you should cool off first. Then you're gonna eat because you're not gonna digest the food. And so when one is excited, anxious, or hurried, it is better not to eat until rest and or relief is found. So it's not wise you go sit down and eat when you're anxious or when you are angry or those feelings. You have to cool off first.
Makes a
And
lot of sense.
and how many times we have to chew the food?
Was it 30 times?
Yeah, 32 times for
32
every
times.
tea. Why we have to do that? What is the purpose for that?
I would fail this quiz if I was taking this.
Yes, but why?
to,
What's the
to,
main
to, to,
reason?
to assist your stomach in digestion.
Yes, when you would masticate properly, you release the saliva enzymes, and then will trigger the stomach to work properly. Will trigger the stomach. But here is the problem: men eats very fast, so they have a lot of parasites.
Mm.
Because when you eat fast, you're not chewing the food. Here's where it kills the bugs first. Is that the enzymes on your mouth that kills the bugs first, and then if you don't you swallow the food, it didn't kill the bugs, goes to your stomach, and then
Wow.
yes, so that's why we overgrow to parasites because we don't sit down, it don't take time to chew our food properly. So there is, and if you eat in a hurry, you're not going to digest the food properly because you didn't and the stomach is not going to be triggered to have a proper digest because you didn't took the time to put the saliva here. And another way, like when you go to a buffet or when you go to a potluck, should you try every single food that is there?
Oh no.
No, because you're gonna create water in your stomach.
Confusion, I guess.
Uh-huh. A war in your stomach
Yeah.
because you cannot digest more than three things at the same meal. So you have to choose few things and eat. Then you're gonna be your stomach is gonna be happy. But when you're gonna try every single food that is there, it really is a war in your stomach.
Yeah, because not all food digests at the same time or at the same
Correctly.
process.
So that's why it's very important that we have to know the proper food combination. Like, for example, we cannot eat melon with any other fruits. They create indigestion. So
Mm.
you have to eat the melon mixed with watermelon, but not with any other fruits because you're going to create indigestion. Like, for example, if you go to a barbecue and then you eat fish, chicken, and beef, you're going to create indigestion. And then if you put tortilla and bread, you're gonna create an indigestion because it's carbs with a protein. They don't go together.
Mm.
You see how important it is to know. So all this is called health rules. We have to know the physiology of digestion to
Mm-hmm.
proper. And here we're talking about food combination. So here say knowledge in regards the proper food combination is great words and to be received as wisdom from God. Disturbance is created in a proper combination of the foods fermentation sets and the blood is contaminated and the brain confused. So you can,
Mm.
so sometimes you get up, you mix the food bad, you're not gonna feel headache maybe 1 day or 3 days after, but remember the stomach is pale pink.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have holes in your stomach like
Like
gastritis,
ulcers. And,
yes.
mm-hmm.
So I don't need to have a bug to have an ulcer on my stomach. Just by eating every day, for example, melon with strawberry, doing or meat with bread or tortilla, it's enough for me to get a gastritis and to have an ulcer because I'm eating things every single day that's causing fermentation.
Mm.
Fermentation is going to cause irritation and then it's going to make ulcers, aphitas and ulcers. And you can look at that because there is a book, a guy called Dr. Beaumont. He studied that and he did see inside the stomach what look like after a bad food combination. So this is real. Like you have to know how your body works. You have to know how to combine the foods to avoid. And talk about food combination, we're gonna see that another combination that we're not supposed to do is mixing fruits with veggies. They don't go together.
Fruits with what?
Vegetables,
Vegetables.
they
Okay.
don't go together. Like usually it's better for you to start your day eating fruits and then pass a few hours you can eat other things. But it usually, like when I go to potluck, I usually don't eat the dessert or the fruits. I take home and I eat
Mm-hmm.
later because I know they don't go together. Okay, and now talking about the dessert, puddings, custards, sweet cakes, and vegetables all served in the same meal or will cause disturbance in the stomach. So if when you eat the foods, you cannot eat the desserts together because it's gonna cause disturbance in the food. They don't go
Wow.
together. So I usually eat it later, separate.
So we're doing everything wrong, guys.
Yes. And now talking about the food, we saw that that we studied the original diet. Processed foods is not the original diet because you cannot
Mm-hmm.
plant.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you can plant, it's good for your stomach. But things that you cannot plant is not good. Processed foods, low carb foods. When you eat every single day pizza, spaghetti, what are you doing to your body? You shifting your system. The leptin, and that's the hunger hormones, and one that tells you to stop it gets disrupted. You're gonna be insulin resistant, and
Hmm.
then diabetes. Plus, you're gonna we have a parasite in your stomach that goes in the pancreas called erythrema pancreaticum, and that is one of the causes of diabetes.
Wow.
Yes. But before that, you become insulin resistant. But insulin resistant is your diet. You eating things that it's you shift those
Mm-hmm.
hormones. How they can go back to normal if you don't stop putting those foods on your body, because you're eating things low carbs, sugar, all these things. And another thing, talking about sugar, we're gonna see now that the sugar we have to have only 1 ounce of sugar per day, but good sugar like honey or brown sugar,
Definitely.
any like molasses, anything that is good. More more than that, like eating too much puddings and sweets, it causes fermentation. And then now we discover that diabetes type 3 is Alzheimer's.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So you damage the brain. And if you eat too much fried food, you're gonna clog up your arteries. So but the sugar is damages your brain. Like you're gonna have Alzheimer's, diabetes type 3. It's really sugar. So sugar kills first, then the fat. The fat takes a while to die. So now we know that sugar, it's diabetes, causes diabetes type 3. But we know too that if you drink a lot of sodas, it's artificial sugar.
Mm-hmm.
The body doesn't know what to do with artificial sugar. Your liver is what is going to do, create fat cells to to hide those toxins. So if you drink a soda per day or 2 sodas per day, you're gonna have a fatty liver. It's so the body doesn't know what to do. The body knows what to do with a mango that is very high in sugar, but the body can digest because it's a normal sugar, but not artificial sugars. Uh, so now you know the causes of fatty liver is not only alcohol, it's sugar or medicines, pharmaceutical medicines too.
Wow, we're just damaging our body, aren't
Yes.
we? With everything that we do.
Yes. And now so we learn a little bit about all the diets from the Bible, and the best diet until today is still the original diets, and modern now is the DNA food repair, because we need that, because we've been damaged for years, our DNA, our parents, the way they ate. So that's a way to correct our DNA. And we have to learn the health rules, how your body works. Now we know that if you eat after 6, what are you gonna get? GERD, and,
acid reflux, all that stuff.
yes, all that stuff. And now the counsel that we're gonna leave for today is we should not be prevailed upon to take anything into the mouth that will bring the body into unhealthy condition, no matter how much we take it. Conscious on Diet and Food by Ellen G. White. So it doesn't matter how much we like that thing. If you know it's going to harm you, you have to leave alone. Okay? Like if like for example, if you're going to eat melons, so you know you cannot mix with a strawberry or any other fruits. You can mix with watermelon, but you cannot mix with a meal. If you like melons, you're going to get up, eat the melons or the watermelon in the morning. So you need to for you to eat correctly, because you cause indigestion, and you're gonna have migraines, headaches from the. And if you could look inside your stomach, you're gonna see your stomach is sick, it's all red.
Wow.
Yes. So, and our last thing is gonna be health is a treasure. All temporal possessions, it is the most precious is your health. So, an owner and dearly precise at the loss of a vigor of a health. No one of these can secure happiness if the health is lacking. So that's mean your health is a treasure, but you have to keep it up. Like you have to do your part. And nothing is more precious than your health, because you can have all the money in the earth and you sick, money cannot buy your health. And like so you have to, so health is a treasure, you need to take care every day. So that's why it's important for us to learn. It's called health rules. So that's what we had for today.
Yeah, fantastic. I think fast forward on the slide so we can put up the doctor's information up on the screen.
It's the last one.
Very last slide.
It's the last one.
Now, if you come to her clinic, she's got an office here in McAllen. It's right off of 10th Street. But if you're not, if you're watching us from anywhere, or the rest of the world, you can reach out to her. She's got an email address and a phone number. What is that phone number?
It's 956-631-1664.
That's right. The Nature's Remedy Center, located in McAllen, Texas. Now, I used to be able to find it on Google really easily, but for some reason I have a difficulty finding it now, but I've got it saved. So if you do have a problem, give them a call. Call us here in the studio. If you forget,
Hmm.
call us here and let us. We'll help you to get in touch with her. But you send this uh, show to someone who could really use it. From just sitting here on the show, we could all use the information uh, in this uh, in this episode.
This one was a lecture that I gave, but for the radio format, I did only 10 questions. But
Yeah,
I show few of those
fantastic.
slides.
Well, give us that information again. Give us your email address.
It's my email is naturesremedies@ctryahoo.com, and my website is www.naturesremediescenter.com. Yeah,
naturesremediecenter.com.
and my address is 508 North 10th Street, Suite C10, McAllen, Texas 78501.
That's right, 508 North 10th Street, Suite C10.
10 C10
C10 in McAllen,
McAllen.
Texas. So it's right
Yes.
off of 10th Street, north of Business 83 and south of Pecan.
Yes, it's just next to the restaurant El Pastor.
Okay,
El
so-
Pastor, Cabrito.
Yeah.
It's just next to the restaurant El Pastor.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Doc, for sharing this information.
Mhm.
In 2 weeks, come back because you're going to share the Spanish version of this information, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then maybe in 2 weeks after that, the Portuguese version. Who knows? Who knows?
Yes, we should do more Portuguese and see how it goes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing this information,
You're
and
welcome.
thank you, folks, for tuning in and for listening. For watching. Make sure that you reach out to Dr. B if you have any questions. She's great. She has a vast amounts of information, and keep listening and keep tuning in to 97.7 FM, the city, and Nature's Remedies.
Yes, thank you.